Hello Jamaica, and welcome to this special edition of FSC's Financial Forum. We are looking at the school's financial education program. My name is David Geddes. This year, we're encouraging teachers from secondary schools across Jamaica to visit our website and register their schools so that their students can enter our essay competition being held under the theme Financial Inclusion, Savvy and Safe. Our website, www.fscjamaica.org, has details of the competition and what we expect of the teachers. It is the teachers who will direct the students' research for the essay competition, ensuring they visit appropriate websites and read financial literacy books and papers. The first 20 teachers from different secondary schools who register online or email their applications to fscsses@gmail.com will be guaranteed a stipend for participating in SFEP. Each teacher will also be eligible to win prizes alongside their students, and of course their school will also have a chance to win a prize. Registration opens January 17, 2022 and closes February 28, 2022. We will also have ads in the daily newspapers with details of this year's SFEP and our essay competition. Today we have presentations from FSC's Robert Hamilton and David Answer, as well as Melanie Williams from the Bank of Jamaica. Let's start with my namesake, Communications Officer at the FSC, David Answer.
Hello and welcome to the school's financial education program. My name is David and I work with the Financial Services Commission as the communications officer. I'll be teaching you about something very important. So important that you'll use this information for the rest of your life to build successful, happy, and fulfilling lives. I'll be teaching you about financial literacy. Being financially literate will help you to save effectively, know how to invest, know the importance of insurance, and planning for retirement. When I was younger, BlackBerry was the latest and coolest phone on the market. I really wanted to get one, but my mother would never buy one for me. So I decided to begin saving for one. There was one problem though. How would I save for one? I took some time out to think about the money I spent from what I have and what I'm going to get from whichever source it may be. I thought about all the different ways I could start saving and came up with a strategy. I would save from my lunch money by purchasing a more filling lunch. So instead of buying 2 or 3 slices of pizza, I'd buy a boxed lunch for around the same amount. This really helped me because whenever I would buy pizza for lunch, I'd always end up hungry at the end of the day and would oftentimes have to buy something else to eat after school. Buying the boxed lunch meant I was full for longer, up until I got home for dinner. I also decided that I wouldn't spend any money on things like candy or other unnecessary items. This decision oftentimes meant I would end up saving almost half my lunch money for the day. Assessing your spending and ensuring that the most important things are accounted for is called budgeting. I love pizza. It's my favorite food, but I had a more important goal, the BlackBerry. As a result, I prioritized my spending to help me get the money I needed to get one. I saved and budgeted to get that phone. Saving is about being able to assess how you spend your money and how you can change the way you spend to have some money left over to put into saving. You don't have to be saving for a phone or any reason other than just for saving's sake. Budgeting entails knowing the difference between your wants versus your needs and accounting for your needs before your wants. What are some of the needs that you have? Food, transport, maybe you'll need a pen when you get to school. Things that you absolutely cannot do without to function in your daily activities. Now, what are some of your wants? Some nice shoes you saw at a store. Maybe you want to subscribe to Netflix or HBO Max to keep up with your favorite shows. These are things that aren't as important as food or transport, and as such should not have priority in your budget. Saving and budgeting can help you accomplish many of your goals in the short, medium, or long term. However, to meet these goals through saving and budgeting, they must be attainable within the time frame you set out. You must also do your best to follow through on the dedication to save. Try not to be tempted to spend more than you plan to, unless it is for an emergency or an unfortunate occurrence. Whether it is to buy a phone, shoes, save for university, or for a car or house, you can save to meet your goals. Saving is done through proper budgeting. We're all getting older, and as such, we should be getting wiser. A wise choice to make to build and protect your financial future is knowing the importance of insurance and planning for retirement. Insurance is a way of mitigating total loss in times of uncertainty. Some times of uncertainty come in various forms like illness, accidents, or acts of God. Acts of God are natural disasters that can damage property or threaten our safety. Do you know any acts of God? Insurance is paid as something called a premium, and it helps the company providing you with insurance to protect you from inconveniences brought on by times of misfortune. There are many different types of insurance: motor vehicle insurance, house insurance, life insurance, health insurance, and more. There's even insurance for things like electronics and furniture. Think of having insurance like having an umbrella on a rainy day. When it falls, it tends to pour. We can't stop the rain, but we can definitely protect ourselves from the raindrops. Now let's talk about retirement. I know what's probably going through your mind. I'm decades away from retiring. Why would I want to know about that now? Well, I'll explain it to you. People retire either when they get to a certain age or when they choose to due to other factors. At that point, they cannot earn a normal salary as they did during their working lives. So a good way to ensure that they still have some income is by contributing to an approved retirement scheme or pension plan. The contributions are made on a monthly basis to a pool of funds that allow people to retire comfortably when they have reached the age of retirement. This money is oftentimes needed to pay for living expenses that can range from food to medicine or medical treatment. It is important to start planning for your retirement as early as possible so that you can accumulate more money over a longer period of time. One cocoa, full basket. And that is the case with contributing to an approved retirement scheme or pension plan. Your contributions matter, and no matter how small they may be, they will accumulate into something much greater and more meaningful in the future. The earlier you start, the better off you will be in the future when it's time to retire. I really hoped you learned something new from this presentation, and I hope this has inspired you to take control of your financial futures. You can reach out to us or your teachers for more information. You can contact us at fscessays@gmail.com and feel free to join in the fun for some great prizes in this year's SFEP essay competition. All the best and continue to pursue the path of financial literacy.
Thank you, David. Now, all these presentations are designed to give teachers and students guidance on the essay theme, Financial Inclusion, Savvy and Safe. If you know a secondary school teacher who you think would be ideal for this program, direct them to our website, www.fscjamaica.org. We expect the writers to look at all aspects of financial inclusion and financial literacy and expand on why it makes sense to invest for wealth creation, plan for retirement, and insure your assets, and why it is safe. And now, Melanie Williams, National Coordinator of the Financial Inclusion Secretariat at the Bank of Jamaica, tells us about financial inclusion.
Financial inclusion is about improving access to financial services which are offered by regulated financial institutions. We're talking about everyone in the financial industry, from commercial banks, merchant banks, building societies, securities dealers, life and general insurance companies and their intermediaries, and of course, authorized pension fund administrators. Of course, we also recognize the immense contribution made to the financial industry by our credit unions and by our microfinance institutions. Financial inclusion is not just about improving access, it is also about encouraging the usage of financial services. By that we mean we're trying to encourage the underserved population as well as the unbanked population to use financial services which are offered by regulated financial institutions so that they can be better protected. So essentially, financial inclusion is about creating an inclusive economy for households and for firms. It's about micro-entrepreneurs, medium and small-sized enterprises, and citizens, consumers, so that they are protected when they engage with financial institutions. Now, when we speak of financial inclusion, we want you to take a different approach. This is not a top-down policy. This is rather endemic to the Caribbean, and in the case of Jamaica, it is designed to meet the needs of our population where they are now. So consumers need to be comforted that there's a regulator in the space that will protect them if they do have a dispute with a financial institution, and that they will have an easy, quick process to resolving any issues or concerns that they may have. In addition to consumer protection, of course, there is financial literacy. Consumers need to understand the products that are being presented to them. They have to be in simple, straightforward language, free from technical jargon that can confuse. It also means that when we engage with our population, we have to start teaching financial concepts at the earliest opportunity. So there are several teachable moments when it comes to financial literacy. And you and I both know that there are opportunities to share concepts, even at the moment of when you acquire the financial service. But before that, we want to actually teach our youth about critical, basic concepts to do with finance. For example, what is savings versus what is investment? You often have these terms being confused in the minds of many persons, which, as we all know, can sometimes lead innocent consumers to being fooled by persons who are offering Ponzi schemes. Work that the FSC has been keen to prevent in terms of ongoing proliferation in Jamaica. So apart from just teaching our youth generally through social media content and through television, we are actually part of the Consumer Protection Financial Capability Working Group that FSC chairs, which seeks to create financial literacy content for our youth through the work of many different players. And we're starting with the secondary schools. So stay tuned for more information because we'll deep dive into that a little later. Who are the beneficiaries of the National Financial Inclusion Strategy? First of all, the beneficiaries are us as a people, you and I as consumers. But more particularly, it has to do with our citizens of Jamaica or youth, or small, medium-sized, and micro-entrepreneurs. And we're also seeking to benefit many recipients of welfare payments who have the benefit now and the opportunity to obtain these benefits digitally. So financial inclusion. It really seeks to support the work that is contemplated in Vision 2030. And of course, Jamaica's ongoing commitment to Sustainable Development Goals. We're talking about Sustainable Development Goal 4, which has to do with quality education, Sustainable Development Goal 8, which has to do with decent work and economic growth, as well as Sustainable Goal 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, and Sustainable Development Goal 10, Reducing Inequalities in our economy. So what have been some of the achievements of the National Financial Inclusion Strategy to date? First and foremost, I am very pleased to share with you that there have been recent amendments to our Proceeds of Crime Act and the regulations which allow for simplified customer due diligence requirements or simplified know your customer requirements to be applied to certain categories of consumers based on the assessment of a financial institution. What does that mean? That's a big mouthful. Let me break it down for you. You know how difficult and how painful it can be to open an account. Many of us have often commented that it's almost as if you need a recommendation from God himself to do so. But I'm here to tell you that's not the case. If you are in fact a low risk for money laundering or for financing of terrorism, and the financial institution makes that assessment, and the type of service that you seek to acquire has certain features, certain design factors that further reduce that risk, you may be eligible to use simplified KYC or simplified Know Your Customer requirements to open that account. I must underline that this, of course, is the determination of the financial institution in question when they meet with you. But that means that you will require less in terms of actually meeting the identification requirements to open the account. That's a major achievement, one which we anticipate will benefit many of our low-income population. Another major achievement is that we have seen improvement in the sources of funding and the provision of technical assistance to our micro, small and medium-sized enterprises through a range of vehicles, including the work of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, as well as the Development Bank of Jamaica. A significant achievement has been the work which has been done by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce towards improving the regime that allows for business persons to use what we call movable collateral, aka items such as your equipment, your computers, your cars, as a basis of obtaining a loan from a regulated financial institution. And I'm pleased to let you know that Bank of Jamaica continues to work on improving digital payments for you, the consumer, so that these are accessible and at the appropriate price point for you, which we all can look forward to. So what is the big picture when it comes to financial inclusion? Where do we want to go and where do we want to end up? So our timeline that we are working towards is 2024. And we are working towards improving the levels of financial literacy in our Jamaican population so that you have a better understanding of key financial concepts. We are also working towards having a proper consumer protection regime for that part of the market that is not yet regulated in that way from a consumer protection perspective. And by that I mean our commercial and merchant banks and our building societies, as well as all other entities that are regulated by Bank of Jamaica. So let's understand the big picture about financial inclusion and the work of the Government of Jamaica, Bank of Jamaica, FSC, and all our financial inclusion partners.
Thank you, Melanie. So, secondary school teachers, keep tuned to this station as well as radio stations and the newspapers for more information on the school's financial education program. Visit our website at www.fscjamaica.org. Remember, the first 20 teachers to register are guaranteed a stipend for participating. The FSC's Robert Hamilton knows his financial ABCs and the importance of budgeting.
Good day, Jamaica. My name is Robert Hamilton, Senior Director at the Financial Services Commission of the Compliance and Internal Controls Division. Today I'm going to do a presentation on budgeting. So let's start off by what is a budget? A budget is an estimation of revenue and expenses over a specified future period of time. Budgets can be done for a person, a family, a group of people, a business, a government, or just about anything that makes and spends money. A budget is really a plan for your money that helps you to spend purposefully and ensure that you prioritize spending in order of importance. What are the benefits? It improves money management and allocation of financial resources. It also improves the possibility of achieving your goals and facilitates the early identification of financial challenges. So what are the excuses or the reason why we don't budget? The weight of the excuses. I don't earn enough money. Well, budgeting can help you to identify the expenses that you are using or using up, and then figure out ways in which you can maximize the money that you spend in a more economical way. Another excuse is, I'm not good at math. Well, thanks to budgeting software and apps, you don't have to be good at math. They provide guidance in ways in which you can populate these templates and apps and really ensure that you're maximizing the budgeting aspect of what you're trying to achieve. I have a job that covers my expenses. Well, that's even more reason for you to budget, as no one's job is truly safe and you have to plan for a rainy day. But more importantly, it's about holding yourself accountable to the money that you spend on an ongoing basis. I don't have enough time. Well, when something is important, you make time. And I can guarantee that once you start to budget, you start to see the importance of what you're trying to achieve. So let's go through a couple tips, right? First tip, just start. We talk about the weight. A lot of times we put so much pressure on ourselves as to having enough money, time, resources, etc. Just start. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of money or just a little money. When I started the budget, I kept it simple. I was like, I want to save about $5,000 a month, and I just started at that aspect. But it can be 500, it can be 100. You can choose, but just start. Establish your why, your motivation. This is so important because these are the things that you have to go back to whenever you get discouraged. Create a plan. What are you trying to achieve, right? How are you going to go about saving, investing, etc.? What's the most effective way to do your budget? Review and adjust your budget regularly. This is so important as things are changing. In today's economy, prices go up every day. So it's important for you to look at your budget to identify these changes and see how you can adjust. Analyze the variations between budget and actual expenses. This is so important as you start to enhance the budgeting process. And that type of skill set is what's going to carry you forward, not only budgeting for yourself, but if it's a group or your company or your business, this is very important that you can analyze budgeted expenses and income to actual expenses and income so you can enhance how you manage your money. It's really critical to ensure that your budget is in line with your goals, right? So you need to review your budget, look at your goals, and see if you're on track to achieve those goals. Now, another tip is brace yourself for unforeseen challenges because these will come. Don't get discouraged. There's nothing wrong with starting over if the budget doesn't go according to plan. God knows I've started my budget many times, right? And it doesn't matter if it's every day, if it's every month, you just need to continue working at it because the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Use tools and other mechanisms to make budgeting easier, such as the budgeting apps that we spoke about earlier, standing orders from your bank, right? You can have payments go into various accounts by either going into the bank or even online that can help you to save, invest, and budget on an easier basis. Or you can keep it simple. You can go to the bank, withdraw your money, place the money in different envelopes in relation to where you want your money to go. And that way ensure that you don't spend money that you're not supposed to spend. All right, so those are the tips. What is a budget? Thank you for your time, and please have a great day and conduct your business.
Thank you, Robert. Teachers and students, make sure your school is registered for the FSC Schools Financial Education Program, SFEP 2021-22. Enter the essay competition and win fabulous prizes. I'm David Geddes, and that's Financial Forum for today. Remember to check before you invest.
Well lit, but must be legit. Watch your flex, are you wagga vex? Check before you invest. I'm saying, check before you invest. I'm saying, well lit, but it must be legit. Have you watch your flex, are you wagga vex? I'm saying, investor and investor are go laugh. How them laugh? Tra la 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 la. A message from the Financial Services Commission promoting integrity in the Jamaican financial sector.